Now, can you believe this? This can't even be true, but they're telling me it is. 3 million people have signed an online petition defending that illegal alien truck driver who killed 3 people on that Florida highway. They want clemency or reduced charges. They argue that, well, the driver had no criminal intent. And now these same people are desperately trying to make the guy who showed no remorse at all in the courtroom look like he's the victim.
I saw sorrow and suffering in his eyes, and he is praying, he's doing Sikh prayer and ardas for the victims' families, and he is in solidarity and he is facing mental anguish for what happened that day.
Oh, he's suffering from mental anguish. Oh, maybe we should have a GoFundMe page. It probably already is one. Well, he got his commercial driver's license from the state of California. No shock there. He didn't speak English, and he couldn't read road signs. They're endangering the lives and killing American citizens, as we saw with that horrific crash in Florida.
Literally killing American citizens.
Literally killing Americans. I mean, these are not made-up statistics. These just happen. I mean, federal highway funds, that's leverage that the federal government has over the states that refuse to do the basics.
That's exactly
Would you
right.
consider advising that DOT and the administration pull back on federal highway funds for these states?
So I don't want to get ahead of any administration announcements, but we are looking at a whole host of points of leverage.
Well, that leverage may be becoming a reality. Today, Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy gave 3 states an ultimatum. They either fail, if they fail to enforce English requirements for commercial truck drivers, they're going to lose millions in federal funding. Here with me exclusively, Secretary Sean Duffy. Mr. Secretary, thank you for joining us tonight. I know the governors of these states, understand the terms here. Do any of them thus far seem willing to comply?
So first off, for anyone to talk about the mental anguish of this defendant after killing 3 people, innocent people on Florida roads is outrageous. Or 3 million people, Laura, that want to come to his defense. These are the same 3 million people who probably were yelling at DOT back in May when we put out the rule that said, listen, if you can't speak the language, if you're not proficient in English, you can't understand road signs, you can't drive a big rig. We put that out in May, and it went into effect at the end of June. And 3 states have been unwilling to comply and work with us: Washington, California, and New Mexico. And so what we've now told them, said, listen, you don't comply, we're going to give you 30 days. We're going to pull back some of your federal money that we give you. California is 30 million, Washington's 10, and New Mexico is 7 million. That's just step 1. We have a whole bunch of equities to play with states that don't comply with this law, because this is a safety issue. If you can't understand the road signs and you can't speak English and you're driving an 80,000-pound rig, you're a danger to everyone around you on the roads, the families, the teenagers that drive, your friends, and so we're not going to put up with it.
Well, I've been hearing about this from people for like 20 years, okay? Literally for 20 years. And New Mexico told us that they believe they are in compliance, but Gavin Newsom's office put the blame on the Trump administration, telling us that Mr. Singh got his work permit under the first administration, and now you're scrambling to shift blame after being caught. Sean's nonsense announcement is as big a joke as the Trump administration itself. They're trying to play, the role of Donald Trump with their cutesy little response here, but your reaction to that?
So first off, with New Mexico, Laura, obviously this defendant could not speak English. We gave him a test after. Couldn't understand English, wasn't proficient, and couldn't understand road signs. He was pulled over for a speeding ticket before this crash in New Mexico, and he clearly couldn't speak the language, understand the language, or understand road signs, and they let him go. They didn't take him out of service. Had they taken him out of service, we may have 3 Americans that would still be alive. In regard to California, it's a requirement that when you get your CDL, you do have to take the test in English, and you also have a skills test. There's no way in hell this guy could have passed those tests but for some really shady behavior in California. So we are all in, investigating, looking at this. And by the way, let Gavin come play, but he will regret the day he messes with DOT, because, again, a lot of equities we have with California, not just with regard to pulling money, but other things we can do with regard to CDLs. So I would but start to comply. and look
Well,
out for your citizens.
Well, Mr. Secretary, couldn't they lose their interstate right to commerce, like coming actually across state lines? I mean, if you're in a red state, you need to get stuff delivered from Florida all the time. A lot of agriculture and so forth, and a lot of we understand that this industry is dominated by foreign truck drivers, which I think is a huge problem. The administration has to do something about this, but these other states, their people's lives are being put in danger, as we saw with Florida.
That's right.
So they could be barred from entering those states.
They could be decertified, in essence. So a California CDL couldn't be used in other states. By the way, it's even worse, Laura. Several drivers of the 3 states we're talking about, including California, had been pulled over in other states and been put out of service because they weren't English language proficient. They were then subsequently pulled over in California. So you have a red flashing light going, hey, this guy can't speak the language, and California just let him go. And so, again, you're at the heart of the issue. We have a lot of equities, a lot to play here. We will get compliance. And again, to your point, these truckers, they're driving all over the country. And when you have illegals that compete against American workers, when you take an American's job, number one, but you drive down the wages of truckers all across the country because you're taking their jobs and competing with the American-born citizens. So we're on it. We've heard the truckers, and we're not going to let this one go.
Yeah, the H-1B visas, the truckers, the Chinese students, all of this stuff this is what the base wants. They want America put first. Mr. Secretary, thank you very much for coming on tonight.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.